Hello, and welcome back to the Road Travel Podcast. My name is Jesse Hunt, and if you've been following the show at all, you may have realized that it's been the better part of almost half a year since I've released a new episode, and that was never my intention. I released about 10 episodes and decided that would be a really great season one, a good place to stop and start preparing the second season, which I actually started doing, but then the weather got really nice and things got really busy and yada, yada, yada. Here we are. I decided that it was just too difficult to juggle the podcast and a bunch of other things, nice weather included, during the summer. So I decided that I was going to put it on hold until the cold weather came back again. Not because I didn't enjoy doing it or I had any feelings of, completely stopping the podcast. I really wanted to keep doing it. I just decided that it was too hard to juggle all of those things, and it seemed like a podcast was more of a winter, cold weather type thing anyways, at least up here in Canada. So when I first started the podcast, I thought that I had to do it really consistently to gain a following, to, gain an audience base, and I now realize that it's not really about that. It's more, that does have something to do with it, but it's more about releasing good episodes. And that's what I really want to focus on. In the next season, I'm going to be less focused on releasing things consistently and more focused on releasing things that are of, the best quality that I can make them. I want to have really good guests. I want to have, not that the other guests weren't good at all. I had really good guests in the first season. I just want to make sure that I'm spending more time developing the episodes that I'm going to be doing. And so that means that I probably won't be releasing them every week like I was in the last season. But that being said, lots of people have been asking me, are you going to keep doing the podcast? Where's the podcast? I'm waiting for new episodes, that kind of thing. And so I just want to release this update and say that there are more episodes coming. Like I said, I did a few last year that I haven't released yet. And I've got a few new guests lined up for the next few months, which is really exciting. And another aspect that I wanted to focus on more is, and this all has to do with, doing better episodes and things like that, is I'm going to be less focused on doing the video portion of it. I really wanted to, when I did the first season, a big part of it was shooting, these high-end video, almost like TV interview type things where I was filming every episode, and doing trailers, where I'm going to still do a lot of that, but it won't be so centered around that, if you know what I mean. Podcasts are very much a audio medium, so I'm going to really focus on that, which will allow a little bit more flexibility. Whereas before, it was difficult to line up guests all the time because I was always inviting them to come to me so I could film the episodes, and sometimes that got in the way. Whereas now, if I can line up a time to meet with a new guest, I can literally just pack up my microphones and go to them. And there may even be times where we do that Skype podcast thing. I'm not really a fan of it. I kind of like being in the same room. I think there's something to be said about the conversation you have with somebody when you're face to face with them. And so if I'm focusing less on having that consistent look in every episode and opening up the possibilities of actually going to these different places. And yes, I'll still try and film them the best that I can, but it'll be a lot less centered around having that same look and feel that I was so hung up on in the last season. So it's going to be more centered around just providing a quality episode for whoever's listening. And I'm excited about that. It's going to give me a lot more free time to really focus on that. Whereas before I was really trying to make sure that everything looked great. Whereas now it'll still look great, but it's going to be less look and visual centric and much more about the audio portion of it. Just because I find that's where the majority of the viewers, that's where the majority of the audience base was. It was all iTunes podcasts, that kind of thing. So while I still will be releasing them on YouTube, it will be more focused on the audio portion of it. So really looking forward to getting into that. I just wanted to release this really quick update. Sorry that I don't have a new episode for you right now, but it is coming. I appreciate your patience. And yeah, I'll see you really soon. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you on the next episode.